Coach, as you head to Bemidji State this weekend, what are you expecting to see?
Boy, I'd like to see the penalty minutes come down. I was very disappointed in the number of penalties we took last weekend. So that's first and foremost. We've got to conquer that. You know, you can start talking about, okay, how do you want to play and different things, but if you can't conquer that, it puts us in such a difficult position to win because we're using certain players to kill. Like basically, we have three groupings of two up front, and so it's six forwards that all of a sudden had to kill 35 minutes in penalties on the weekend. That's craziness. And some of them are good offensive players like 19 and 11, and we want them out there 5-on-5. And then you've got guys like a Connor McGrath who's 5-on-5 in power play, and obviously he's got a knack for scoring. Well, he's sitting on the bench. He can't even get on the ice because he doesn't penalty kill. So it was crazy. You know, it won't work, and we got to get that point across to the guys. And too much effort and hard work goes into this not to give ourselves the best chance to win a hockey game. And we went into Saturday's game. We got through Fridays, but I specifically said we've got to be three kills tonight or less. And if we up around the same numbers, well, it's not gonna end well. And sure enough, we were up around the same numbers, and it didn't end well. So I was very disappointed. And hey, we lose, and if we play well and we do the things we should do, that's life. You know, run into a hot goalie, whatever the case may be. But for us to shoot ourselves in the foot and really hurt our chances to win, it was very disappointing.
Coach, last year you guys went on the road to Bemidji State and picked up 2 wins. What sort of confidence does that give you as you go to them this year?
Well, you know, it's a whole different year. So that was a huge sweep for us a year ago. If I remember right, Noah played both games, and he had a really strong weekend. He played exceedingly well. So we're going to have good goaltending. But Bemidji's a good team. I saw they just cracked the top 20, and they should be in a top 20 team. And they're a very good hockey club. They're going to play aggressive. They're going to play fast, and they will not take a lot of penalties. They just don't do it. So, it's going to take good hard work by us. We're going to need good goaltending, and we're going to have to really watch all the small details and a large detail. Stay out of the box.
You talk about all the penalties and having to adjust the lineups on the kill, but how do you think the team has played together overall in terms of the lines, and do you expect to see any changes there going forward?
Yeah, we'll have some changes in the lines. Going into the weekend, nothing. Yeah, we're making some fairly major changes, but it's a lot of the same people, just reshuffling the deck a bit. But realistically, we were good Saturday 5-on-5. I mean, our shot total was almost 2-1 in our favor. Certainly, at moments of the game, we were at 2-1 in both attempts and shots on goal. And our 5-on-5 play was good. Now we got to figure out the last bit. We're not scoring 5-on-5. Good news is we're not giving up goals 5-on-5. But the way we controlled territory and puck possession, we should have had a few 5-on-5 goals. Again, that's a byproduct though of being in the box, and that each minute you're killing is less 5-on-5 time that you have too. But I like the lines. I like I think the guys are playing good. I'm seeing improvement in a lot of areas. We're certainly not a completed project yet, but I'm seeing some real positives. It's just we've got, when we're making progress in one area, we can't spring a leak in another area.
Just around a month in the season, is there any concern that you guys still haven't picked up a sweep for a weekend?
There's not. It's funny. It's so much more micro to me. It sounds crazy, but each game, it just like everything's on Friday night's game. And if we get Fridays, then let's work on Saturdays. We haven't been swept either, which is a good thing. But if all you're ever going to do at best is split, then you're 500, and that's no good. So we've got to find ways to do it. Now this weekend, and again, we'll just take each game. Friday night we'll put our best effort into winning that game, and if we're guaranteed we're going to try every bit as hard on Saturday to win that game. But you're right. If we want to move up and don't want to be just in the middle of the standings, we got to look for ways to sweep. But it's tough in college hockey right now. Their parity is there. I can't think of any of the weekends, any of the teams we've played that we're weak teams. Everybody seems to be pretty good. They all play hard. They've, goaltending's been good against us. Our goaltending's been good against them. So sweeps are going to be hard, but that's the next step. If we get that Friday night win, we got to find a way to be a mature, old enough group that we can bring that same effort out on Saturday and get the sweep. And I'd say physically the effort was there on Saturday to get the sweep. The guys worked really hard, but mentally we were off cue a bit, because you can't take those kind of penalties and say we were 100% mentally engaged. We were off a little bit to take those penalties, and a lot of them, which bothered me, were in the offensive zone, 180 feet from our net, and one of them just wasn't necessary at all. So, two of them weren't necessary at all. That's very disappointing.